So I'm working on trying to reconstruct the lung and trying to understand the cell types that have to interact in the lung to form a functioning lung, basically. Which is important since many diseases with many patients with chronic lung disease can't breathe properly anymore. So at one point, lung transplantation becomes the only option for our patients. We don't have enough lungs to transplant, so there is a significant shortage of organs across the world. So we have to come up with technologies to engineer lungs, which is what we're trying to do.
When we think about how our lung cells work every day, we often think about lung disease as the cells that line our airways or the cells that exchange oxygen are not working properly. But what's really important is to consider their surroundings. It's very much like when you plant a seed. You need to put the soil, you need to put often nutrients and water, and the cells in our lungs also need their surroundings. And that's what we want to study within this project. So we are trying to understand whether lung diseases might be caused by a problem in the stem cells or a problem in the cells that surround the stem cells and help them. Because we can culture these cells types together in the lab, we can now ask these questions. And gaining a better understanding of how these cell types talk to each other and what important factors they produce will hopefully allow us to develop new drugs that can target those surrounding cells in lung disease. What I want to do is ultimately help those patients live a longer life and a better life. And I'm really hoping that my curiosity will help with that, and that by better understanding what might be going wrong in lung diseases, that we might then find a way to have perhaps new drugs or new means of therapy for patients.
So my personal motivation probably goes back about 40 years in time when I was a kid, and I had very bad asthma. So I distinctly remember, as if it were yesterday, I was sitting at home not being able to breathe, and that is a terrible feeling. And certainly if you are in contact with patients with chronic lung disease, these are horrible diseases. Our patients basically can't breathe in sometimes what's plentiful around them, and that is the air. And they have a horrible quality of life. So I think this places a huge burden on every patient as an individual, but also onto our societies as a whole. And I think trying to cure chronic lung disease is a fight worth fighting for.